Good morning, everybody. It's Wayne's World and Kelly. It's the 72nd episode. And Wayne is in the air again today. As he likes to say, he's 30,000 square feet. I'm like, dude, it's not square, it's just feet. He also says he has a hot water heater. So we have our permanent guest host, Nouchelle Hastings, or as other people know her, Nouchelle. And then we have the one, the only, possibly the nicest guy on planet Earth, Jordan Goldman, who has he spends time over at a company called Castle Group, which is one of the top premier property management companies in all of Florida. So
one correction now. Say good morning to everybody, but one correction, you said one of the top.
I know, as soon as I said that, I knew I was in trouble. The premier, the most elite, the coolest.
Love it.
And they throw the best parties with nice gifts.
Good morning. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. This is round two.
It is round two. And the reason being, we don't do any show prep ever for 72 episodes. We don't do it. We like to bring people on and just do it as it is. But what we were supposed to do on the last show when you were on, I don't know what it was, 6 months ago, whatever it was, is I wanted to talk about the charity arm of Castle Group. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, we went like 10 minutes over and we never got even close to that. So
right.
We're going to talk about that first. And then if, with any extra time, we'll talk about whatever we feel like. But I and Nouchelle, all of our lives, we've been involved with charity just as much as we do work. Mm-hmm. And one of my favorite things about Castle Group, other than so many fantastic people with the company, you included, is the charity arm, because it's legit. It's a real effort. Y'all do a ton of time. I love it when y'all post it on LinkedIn, the stuff that you guys are doing. And I think it creates incredible synergy for the company with your clients, and then just the community overall. So I've chatted too much. So please tell us a little bit about the charitable arm of Castle Group.
Yeah, so Castle Cares is our philanthropic arm of the company. We're really proud of it. It feels good to do good in the community. And we manage hundreds of thousands of homes, so we're in the community all the time. So it's, it's natural that we'd want to give back and be involved. And so it was founded in 2010 by James Donnelly and Kathy Donnelly. And it started by supporting a small number of organizations, and it's grown to supporting, now we support almost 50 organizations across the state, Florida and Texas. Personally, I'm on the board of Families First of Palm Beach County, being a Palm Beach resident. And I've been on that board for about 8 years now. We just had our annual event, our annual luncheon. It's amazing. We had these amazing guest speakers. I think we had 400 people in attendance at this year's luncheon. And it really, when you walk out of there, it's hard to not, feel like you're part of the community, understand why we're doing what we do. But again, being part of almost 50 organizations, from Boys and Girls Club to Junior Achievement to Families First in Palm Beach County, we're all over the place, frankly. And it's not just the financial donations, it's the time as well. I actually we had our company's year-end celebration a couple weeks ago. And I talked to the group about, it's one thing to write a check and give money. Companies do that, people do that. But it's another thing to give your time, because when you do that, you're there, you're invested, you understand what you're supporting, all those things. Sidebar related to this, I recently toured one of the communities that Habitat for Humanity is building. And I had somewhat of an understanding about what Habitat does, but I really didn't know the backstory and, exactly how a family gets into a home. And if anybody has a chance to tour a Habitat for Humanity community, they're very open. They invite people in to understand the product that they're putting together. And it really is quite incredible.
Wow. It's even more incredible when you go out there and swing a hammer. And it was another organization. What was the organization that you got me into a couple months ago?
Rebuilding Together.
Rebuilding together. Another great
Rebuilding
group.
Together. Yes, absolutely.
I got a cramp in my hand from painting. I'm like, I am out of shape. When you get a cramp in your hand from painting, that's a problem.
They were telling me about all the volunteers they bring out there and describing the work that they do. And he stopped and said roofing. And I, having worked, I've been in Castle for 11 years now. Before this, I worked for a home builder for 10 years. So I've been around construction for a long time. And I said, you're volunteers, plural, on a roof? He goes, no, we have them do some very basic things. And, they were laughing about, what they have them do, but they really do build the home, from, from hanging drywall to painting to some light roofing related items. They're really physically building the home.
Yeah, everything that, like, of course, they don't, as you said, don't get into the safety aspect. Those are where the experts come in.
Right.
But it's so very important to have those trades, volunteer their time, because sometimes in our industry, time is money. But when they make the effort to use their PTO or for their companies or partnerships or alliances to say, you know what, I'm going to give you half a day to go and represent our company or to live out your passion. Like for some people, it's just living out their passion. Taking their personal time is nothing to live out their passion. So yeah, that's really commendable.
What I thought was neat about the Habitat model, I mean, there are many things that they're interesting, but one of them was the families actually participate in building their home.
Oh,
so
absolutely.
They actually come out there and they're also volunteering and physically building their own home. So that's a pretty cool aspect of what they do over there.
Yeah.
So I got to share, it's about 10 years ago, my daughter was involved with her church group, and they said, hey, we're going to go do a 5 days. It was after Superstorm Sandy. Remember that one? Superstorm Sandy. And over on the Delmarva Peninsula, which I'd never been to, the Virginia part of it that we went to. It's like a rural part in between the Chesapeake and the Atlantic. We were going to go out, and we took 400 kids, some adults, and then some construction experts. And we were redoing roofs for several houses. So I had a group of like 30 kids and 2 other adults and myself. And we spent 4 days doing the world's largest Cape Cod roof. And working with the kids, 90% of them were great. A few of them were a little bit of a handful that I had to deal with, which was, which is always, but it was an incredible experience. Although I ruined my favorite pair of boots because they melted on top of the roof. But we had a guy that worked for Colliers or one of these big firms, and this guy knew roofing, so he was actually our one expert. But we relayed this entire huge roof, and I thought, wow, this is going to be really a great experience for because the family's in the house while we're doing it. In 4 days, they never came out and thanked us. They never offered us any water, nothing. But then you had to go, we're not doing it, and it had to be humbling for them to have a group come over and do this. I would have liked the idea of like Habitat with Humanity where they would have helped us. But the reward truly was us, doing something. I took a week's vacation to spend time with my daughter, the kids, and to kill myself on a roof. And I don't like heights. But other times with our companies up in DC and now down here, when you get your employees, you try to do these team building exercises. And we do them just like everybody else. There's no better team building than doing something where you're helping others and you're interacting with the public. And I think that truly is the best way to team build. And the worth that you get from doing it is far more than what the people are receiving, in my opinion. So.
Yeah, that was what I was making to the team about, you can write a check and, many people, and they need that. They need the financial donations. But when you give your time, you really feel like you're part of it. You understand more about, what's going on because you're asking questions, you're talking to people that work there. And then there's the whole team building aspect. Like you said, there's nothing better than, I've done the painting a school before, there's lots of things like that. And I have good memories about that. And it's camaraderie building, it's team building, and you're also giving back to the community at the same time. It's kind of a win-win-win.
Yeah.
I want to go ahead, Kelly, but I was going to just say, and it allows you to bring in other partners as well, right? For probably maybe 8 to 10 years, there's a missions group that comes down from Michigan. And now they've gone on to be some of the greatest leaders. Like what comes out of this, right? They were in college, now they're leading the world. But if I could, I'd like to just give one plug to Jesse Martinez and the Alpont in Winter Park, Florida, right at Rollins. And how they open up their 5-star hotel to giving rooms to those that can't get like a sleepover in the YMCA or different hostels, right? And we're there and we're building a team and roasting marshmallows and making s'mores and telling stories and, helping each other with our blisters, right? They've been doing this for 10 years coming down. And so the partners also that Castle's been able to bring in to help some of the volunteerism, that part right there is so important. We see you in South Florida for that reason alone, because you're bringing others in who don't really know so much what it's about, right?
Mhm.
I love when I read your mission that the other Kelly, sent over to me. It says Castle Cares was officially formed in 2010 with the vision of developing our already strong philanthropic base. The Castle Cares mission is to support children and families in need, and we donate, listen at this, a percentage of our profits to various worthy causes and thousands of volunteer service hours. That's called work, my friend.
You said that
That's
much
work
better
that
than
you
I.
should do.
You said that much better than I would have. I appreciate that.
And I can't believe you said the other Kelly, because I'm the other Kelly. There's Kelly Britton's first.
Yeah, Kelly's pretty amazing. Kelly's our inbound chair of Castle Cares. Shout out to Kara O'Keefe, who chaired our Castle Cares group for 2 years, our Castle Cares committee. And it's a secondary job. I mean, these folks are, they're volunteering their time. They have full-time jobs in the organization. But they're committed to our philanthropic cause, and we believe in it. And Kara lives it, Kelly lives it, and I'm really looking forward to 2024 and beyond with Kelly as the new chair.
I hope you give Kelly an extra award cup.
Yeah, so you have some of our swag there. You're collecting. Is that all Castle swag in the back? If not, it should be.
That's Castle swag. Well, that and I love this. This is my new chessboard.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
For travel chess.
Okay.
So, but
my
favorite piece of swag
events.
is my granddaughter Callaway's name is on this. So I love this. I don't use it except for anything, but remind me of her every second of every day.
Kelly, I recognize when it's an item that was at one of our events or trade shows, and I'm just glad you didn't bring out, a stack of pens or maybe some Post-it notes or highlighters, because I would have known you were one of those suitcasers at the trade show. So
I very rarely take any. I don't give away swag at the trade shows. All I do is give a little slick sheet of. Here it is. Look at this.
Education. It's about education.
It's telling you a little slick about what we do, right? Because I don't like swag. And I know everyone's got to do it because everyone's got FOMO, but I'm not a swag guy. So we don't do it with,
you're over your right, I guess that's your left shoulder. Over your left shoulder says otherwise though.
And he's not even showing his armor. He's got some
Rockin
armor
Wellness is one of our pretend sponsors. I've been drinking this for 12 years. Another pretend sponsor is Centennial Bank. This is just fake stuff. I mean, it's just for fun. And then this is LGC, baby. That's my company. But I really don't collect very much swag. But I do get certain things that I love. Yeah, just because you're doing this is one of the coolest things. I think it's from Hotwire, and it's a fidget pen.
Oh, it's a fidget pen. I've seen it.
And every once in a while I'll be on the phone with somebody and I'll start doing it, and they're like, "Going, dude, what's that noise?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm sorry." It's time for the conversation to end. But no, yeah, I don't know how we got this talking about swag, but that's how we roll. But
well, show me your recent armor, Kelly. Come on, you got more. You got some armor last week from an NFL player. A great veteran gave you some other swag.
Armor.
Okay, I can't believe it, but I'll
if you're getting your armor, get your armor.
Wow, you got him to get out of his chair and go get this. This must be good.
Jordan,
this isn't swag.
High expectations here.
I do Santa Claus for anywhere that Nouchelle sets me up for. And so I do like 3 events or so a year. And so they were very nice, and they gave me this incredible little empowering women in development trophy. And this thing weighs like 20 pounds.
It looks heavy. It looks heavy.
I'm a minimalist, so to have something like this, but I have to keep it because I thought it was very sweet.
Looks like you need to put a shelf up on that wall behind you and display that. That's display worthy.
Or that is a shelf back there, and that's why I just took it off of.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So we're gonna have her on the show at the beginning of the year. This woman, goes by Tinkerbell, and she works with children. This is a good thing for Castle Group to know about now that I mention it. It's an organization called
Silent Victims of Crimes.
Silent Victims of Crime, and it's about kids, from birth to 18, whose parent is in jail for a number of years, who's incarcerated, and they developed this organization to work with these kids year round so they don't repeat the sins of their parents. Mm-hmm. And what an organization! And it's when I dress up in Santa. You can't see it's right off camera. I've got my new Santa outfit that is incredible. And there's people, I go and see these people once a year, and I'm a hero because I'm dressed up in this suit.
Mm-hmm.
And it is great to see all these kids. And these kids are, some of them, I always meet a couple of challenging kids at the beginning of the day. And by the end of the day, they're my shadow. But, they'll either cry or give me dirty looks. And this year we had another girl, and she was really giving me the evil eye. And then she got a digital camera as her gift. It was a really nice camera. I didn't think it was going to be, I thought, you open up the box, you think it's going to be some garbage, but it was really nice. And she was so excited, and she had to show me she got it. And this girl didn't want to have anything to do with me when she saw me. So, these kids, they're living really challenging lives. So then that's just another way to see stuff like Castle Cares, how the people that do pour in these organizations, the results are life-changing for these kids. And everybody that's involved, and it's a huge deal.
All the organizations are important, right? I mean, there's all sorts of various causes, from medical related issues like cancer all the way through kids. And for me, supporting children is just fundamental. Like they're our future, and there's a lot of different organizations that do that. And what you're describing, kids that come from difficult upbringings, for example, Families First. One of the big challenges that Families First tries to overcome is keeping kids out of foster care. So keeping them with their natural family. That may be an aunt, an uncle, grandparent, whatever that may be. But those people may not be ready to raise a child. So they need support and training and coaching. And we do a lot of work at Families First out in Western Palm Beach County, Belglade, Pahokee, and that region, and really support the community in general. And that's, to me, it starts with kids.
Yes,
their future, and they're moldable, right? And they need the right influences and coaching and upbringing, and they could grow to be superstars. So that to me is fundamental.
I have a question for you, because you are a hands-on leader, right? You and I, we haven't interacted so much in the public, but I can tell you that you are approachable and available. You always respond. You're like, check this out. This is what's going on. Our calendars haven't gotten to that place where we're like synergistically, doing a lot of things together, but we do communicate, right? You see me, I see you, but tell us, like, this is the holiday season, right? Give a gift to other CEOs, to other leaders who have heavy calendars. But how important is it to really take out time and just touch your team, right? Because when you do this, you're not just touching an organization, you're touching and working with your team, right? You're showing up. It's not just a kissing babies like a political campaign. You're literally hands-on. What does that do for you? Like, how would you encourage them in 2024 if they want to build a stronger team through humanitarian efforts? Like, speak to us about that.
Yeah, it's a great question. I think everybody has their own style of leadership, of management, of work ethic, whatever that may be. I have always believed, I grew up playing sports and had some great coaches, and, it was always about the team and not about yourself. I've been on teams where I was the best. I played a lot of basketball where I was the best player, and teams where I, barely could even, scratch a minute out. But the reality is it's always about the team. That's the way I've always felt. And that's carried, there's lots of sports and business, synergy. There's lots of books written about this and so forth. But for me, I need to be hands-on. I want to lead by example. I don't want to ask somebody to do something that I wouldn't do. To do that, you have to be visible. You have to be in the trenches, so to speak. And to answer your question directly, I think it's about prioritizing your time. There's plenty of work to be done in front of a computer, and you could spend 60, 70, 80 hours a week doing that. But I prioritize getting out into the community, and by community I mean our teammates. Even I'm not kind of talking about our company, not so much Castle Cares, but it applies in both ways. But this holiday season for us, we have all sorts of holiday events. We've got events where groups of employees and teammates are coming together, and I try to be present at all of those. And that could be Southwest Florida one day, it could be Tampa the next day, it could be Palm Beach the next. But there's a small window of time in this, November through December, probably middle of November to middle of December, where there's groups of teammates coming together. So I prioritize my time around that. So there's some administrative things that I'm not getting to right now, but I'm okay with that. I mean, to me, it's all about engaging the team and getting out there and being hands-on and in the trenches with everybody.
Oh, that's beautiful. And Kelly knows too, like most of the work that you give back, that work starts after 5, right? That starts after your board meetings. That starts maybe before you begin your day. So you may skip a day at the gym because you're getting this work in. You know, when people are like, oh my gosh, how do you do it? They have to understand those that are called to do this work, they do it outside of their normal perimeters. They do it outside of the time that it takes to build their families, right? So, you know, it might start after dinner, after the dishes are done, or again, before you go to the gym or whatever early in the morning. And that's called sacrifice, right? Sacrifice. And so, you know, hats off, kudos to your team, kudos to Kelly B, because for her being a chair, she's probably going like way extreme while others are just showing up, you know, putting on that t-shirt and smiling. This girl probably hasn't slept, you know, to make sure that everything's okay. And then you get the phone that's ringing, and you get the text messages, and you get the messages of the people that are stuck in traffic, and those that are not showing up, and they got the registration desk and they're not there. And it's like, you know, it never stops. It never ends.
It's a live.
Yeah. So, you know, shouts out to Castle. Also, before I get off of that, in Orlando, you all are very open there with Marilyn Nieves and Associate with pediatric cancer, right? Sarah's clay shoot. So I've had a chance to work with the team around and around, you know. So Alexandria on the West Coast. Kudos to everyone. It's amazing.
It's pretty amazing, you know, what a community can do. And, you know, if you look up and down the line of, you know, not just Castle, but all the companies, you know, there's lots of vendor partners and all the causes that we all support, you know, as a group. It's pretty impressive. And, you know, I think I'm always a person that looks to try to figure out how to do it better. And there's probably some ways we can combine efforts maybe in the future. But it's incredible. When you look around all the impact that we're having across the various organizations, it's really impressive.
It's why Florida and Texas are the 2 best states in the country because of our people.
It's where everybody's moving to.
I tell you,
hard to argue that.
It's phenomenal. So let's talk about making appointments and scheduling your time. So this guy, a Lyft driver, hit me a couple of weeks ago on the way to a meeting with a potential client who's now we're going under contract with him, and this guy hits me. Puts a dent in my car. I have the dentless paint repair guy, and he goes, "Can I come at 8:30 on Wednesday today?" And I'm like, "Okay, that's 30 minutes before the show. Why not? Because I gotta, you know, I can't. My schedule's tight. I can't imagine what yours is like, Jordan. I know what Nouchelle's is like, but let's get him in." I have a neighbor that's outside waiting for this guy to show up because he didn't show up at 8:30, even though he's got a system on his phone or on it. You know, he's got a scheduler saying, reminder tomorrow, reminder, you know, in 2 days, I'm going to be there, you know, doesn't post. And that's infuriating to me. See, look how happy I am about it.
Well, guess what? The show went on, right?
The
show went on, literally and figuratively. Yeah,
I thank God I have a good neighbor who says, "Hey, what's going on? Why are you outside? You know, it's a lot loitering around your car."
That's right.
And you know, and he's another great neighbor who's one of these guys who will do anything for anybody, and he's a blessing to have as a neighbor during the snow season because he's an Ohio guy. He and his wife are wonderful. There's the takers and the givers, and I like to hang out with the givers. And, you know, and people that are, you know, we had the accident. I don't want to go into too much detail, but the guy had a passenger and he was more worried about he hit me and he's waiting for the cops. So I'm actually got a warrant for my arrest now, if anyone's wondering. So
we both shook our heads at the same time.
For leaving the scene of an accident.
I think that makes both of us accomplices now. So, you know, I'm not sure.
But nobody makes James LaGreca was in the passenger seat, so he's part of it. But no, the reason why we left the scene, A, we had an appointment, but B, this girl had to get to the airport and who spoke no English or very little English in the back of his Lyft. And she actually told us information how the guy was, you know, all he wanted was money for an accident is basically what she told us because she was in the back seat of his car. But so we make it to the airport. This is impossible. Traffic, 6 o'clock. On 95 South. We get her to Miami Airport, and then we showed up at 6:59 to the appointment.
How about
And-
that?
That's pretty impressive.
Jordan-
That sounds like a whole separate episode of this show.
Against
tell
all
that story a
odds,
little bit.
against all odds.
And there's a great manager. I won't mention his name because this great manager works for Castle Group. So I don't want to. we work with a lot of different property management companies, but on that one, accident
But
Wednesday
you have a
happened to
favorite,
be-
Kelly, but you have a favorite. You can tell the audience.
I have multiple favorites, but
No,
I
see,
enjoy working with
I
everybody.
tried to put him on the spot there, but he dipped and dove around that one.
Well,
Good job,
let
Kelly.
me help you. Let me help you. It's literally called living in the moment. So in this moment, we can say that Jordan, you are the favorite.
Well,
Here we go. Kelly, can you follow suit is the question.
I've had people say, how come you have Castle Group people on, but you don't have other companies on? I'm like, I've had a couple.
You know,
So-
I'll tell you, it's definitely hard to keep everybody happy. And look, we all play in the sandbox, and there's lots of companies in property management, and they're all great companies, and all of us are great for different reasons. And I respect all of our competitors. It's interesting to me though, when we have an event, like we just had our year-end event at our home office, and there's always folks that either maybe the invitation went to spam, or maybe they weren't invited by accident, but no good deed goes unpunished. Because as many
Right.
excuses I get for the event, I get, hey, how come I wasn't invited? And what I need an auto reply that says check your spam, because more often
Yeah.
Right.
that's where the invitation went. But it
Because
is
you
quite,
blocked me.
it is quite interesting. So Kelly, back to the point about the best property management company in Florida, we have Nouchelle's answer, and we're still waiting for yours. You have to be
I
definitive.
love Castle Group. I have good friends, and now I include you as one of them. And the
thank
funny thing is, you know who I haven't invited to be on the show? And I don't know what's wrong with me.
Answer the question, Kelly. Answer the question.
Another one of my Will Delgado. So I was going to talk to him at the best party ever, but he wasn't there. He probably was somewhere else doing something for you guys.
Yeah, he was at
Well,
one of
I
our
wanna get
he was
him
at one
on
of our other
because
celebrations.
He's got a great story. He really does.
Mhm.
And and I want to share that with everybody. Like, oh, there's another one of Kelly's favorite companies coming on the show. So I need to reach out to Will and let him know
You
that I
should.
want to get him in
You
the
should.
first quarter.
You should.
And other people can reach out to me, but not everybody's as great as Castle Group. Now they're going to get me in trouble.
Well, again, if you keep it to the fact that it's pertaining to the guests that you have in front of you for this moment, we all talk about living in the now. In this
Castle-
now moment, the only person that counts is Jordan. We'll talk about the others when it's their time, but for today, this belongs to the Castle Group,
And
the night company.
and that's the right answer, Kelly. That's
Man, that's why I'm always second pony on this show. It's Wayne's World and Kelly. Now,
you had a
Nouchelle.
chance. You had a
Nouchelle.
chance without Wayne on. You had a chance, but you blew it.
I think you're okay. We haven't played golf yet together, so once
you
we
don't-
do that,
you don't want to do that. I'm much
Trust me.
better in a 3-point shootout than I am swinging a golf club. I promise you.
that's why I want to play. Well, I'd rather play
Wait a
golf.
minute. Kelly loves to golf. So you guys have got to get together. Just no work. Don't talk shop. Just golf.
And
How about
Nouchelle,
that?
you're assuming that I can golf in that statement.
Oh, you don't know. Kelly likes to go on the greens just to play around. I mean, he golfs, but this dude loves to bring the fun in.
I'm more of the like Happy Madison type where
Happy Gilmore.
Happy Gilmore, right? I'm a Happy Gilmore type more than I am an actual. So I'm better like a drive shack than I am a real golf course. So
Listen, Derek Collin, who's one of the best pitchers ever to play in major leagues, played for the Texas Rangers, pitched in 2 World Series. Fortunately, they didn't win, but he did great. The only reason he invites me to golf, not for my golf skills, but because I'm just so darn fun on the golf course.
Dramatic.
And,
just dramatic.
He and I become good
It is a
buddies.
bucket
Just
list.
because
It is a bucket list item for me to get some lessons, just so I can be fairly competent. I listen. I've said when I can no longer play basketball, which I'm approaching, by the way. Knees and ankles would probably support that argument right now. I'll pick up golf clubs because that'll be my transition.
I'll bring my
that's a
brother
good-
Mark down. My brother Mark down
Sergio,
in
that's a
Virginia, and he'll
beast.
play.
Oh yeah,
That's a
100%.
beast. That's the beast.
Didn't he play college golf or something along those lines?
Who?
He's great. Jordan, we got to get you out down in Miami. There's where we were at on Sunday. Kelly bought Santa, excuse me, just in case some of the parents may watch this one day. So Santa bought all of these basketballs, and I took a little video because toward the end of the event, the gym was filled. The gymnasium was filled with kids with their own basketball, and they're just,
that's great. That's
going
great.
at it. So we'll give you a chance to do what you love, what you're good at, right? And give back in that same time. No
I love
money,
it.
just time.
I'm there. I'm there.
Just
I
shooting
love it.
basketballs.
I'm there. I love it.
Now, if you go to Nouchelle's LinkedIn, I think it actually shows on my page too, you can actually see Santa dribbling the basketball, and it was it actually looked
Is
like I
this
knew what I was doing.
Santa, like, is this Santa Coon Claus or is this Santa Claus? Which Coon Claus?
Oh boy, you're in trouble now.
Here. Listen, he's like, you gotta leave camera twice in one episode.
KKC.
Oh, I mean, you could have done the whole episode wearing that.
Huh?
At least that's cool out. You could have done the whole episode wearing that.
Is this thing just and this is an outfit right here, baby. This is it. So,
Jordan,
listen, we want to wish
I have a
everybody a Merry
question.
Christmas. Was not planned. But you guys
Kelly, I
goat me.
won't leave you by yourself. Wait a minute.
Look at that.
Holiday spirit. There we go. I guess I'm sort of wearing green. I guess I guess a little bit.
So green and red were the right season colors. But Jordan, you're a great guy. I continue to find anybody on the planet would say anything different, and it doesn't exist. You may be a saint, but you're just a great business leader. You're a great guy. You're a good friend, and we really appreciate you coming on a second time. Not many people have had that, but it's only from our favorite companies where we have that.
I'm honored. It's been my pleasure, and I appreciate you both very much.
Yeah.
Looking forward to seeing you in the new year. Nouchelle, safe travels wherever you are. And
happy holidays to everyone. You too, and everyone out there.
Yes.
Merry Christmas,
Merry
kids.
Christmas.
Bye-bye.